Hey guys, Scott here. Today I want to talk about slowdown perks in Dead by Daylight. This is something I have talked about on stream a bunch of times. I've tweeted about it, but I don't think I've ever actually made a video about my thoughts on it. And I think it might help some people kind of understand the game flow of DBD a bit more and maybe pinpoint why they might not be winning as much as they could and things like that. So first up, a slowdown perk. Whenever you say a slowdown perk, most people think of the same thing. They think of perks that affect generators. They think of generator regression, like, Hex Rune or Pain Resonance, or generator blocking, like Deadlock, or just various forms of making generators unable to be worked on or reducing the progress that's already on it. That's what most people think of when they hear generator regression perk, or they think of slowdown in general. It's just referred to as those things. So the argument I want to make here is that almost every single killer perk in the entire game is a slowdown perk of some variety. It's kind of like that one game where you try to compare things to like Kevin Bacon with like 8 degrees of separation or 7 degrees of separation. Pretty much everything butterfly affects into most perks being some form of slowdown. And here is the main thing I want to focus on. People think the only forms of slowdown are ones that involve specifically removing progress from gens or blocking gens from being worked on. But the best slowdown in DBD has been and always will be just downing a survivor. When you down one survivor, that person's not doing a generator anymore. Someone's going to have to save that person, which means they're not doing a generator. And you're likely going to be chasing a third guy, which means there's probably only one guy on a generator at a given time when that save is happening, which is a ton of slowdown, more so than any perk in current DBD, that can actually be given to you. Now, I'm not going to pretend that back in the day we didn't have shit that was stronger than that, like old Call of Brine Eruption Overcharge, old Rune Undying. Yeah, that stuff was so strong that it actually saved you more time than quickly downing people with the help of chase perks or anything like that. So I'm saying in the current meta of DBD, the most powerful slowdown is not just running 4 generator perks. And this is, I think, the first frustration I have. I will always see people complain that, look, I ran 4 generator slowdown perks, 4 regression, 4 blocking, whatever, and these survivors still gen rushed me. They still did the gens in 3 minutes or whatever. But then you actually look at their gameplay and they hooked like one guy. It's like, yeah, you got pop, eruption, overcharge. Like, you have all these things that, like, you have to like down people or like progress the game in some way in order for these perks to be used. But they're complaining that even though they're running 4 slowdown perks, the survivors still gen rush them. It's like, well, you basically were perkless that game. You didn't actually use any of your perks because you didn't down any people, and all the perks you chose require you to like down people or hook people or slug them or whatever. You need to do something in order to benefit from these. But when people complain about running all these perks and then the gens still go too fast, you have to use the perks or you just might as well bring nothing. That's the first frustration I have. There's also another frustration. This is more of a content creator related one, but I've seen it in, like Hens' chat, for example. He'll have like 4 hooks with 1 generator done. And you'll see the same people in chat saying the same lines that have been repeated for 8 years. Oh, how is this guy, going against such bad survivors? They've only done 1 generator in 4 minutes or whatever. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same argument every time because these people don't realize their games are going slower not because they're in some mythical, magical, low MMR paradise where no one knows how to play except the killer. It's because they're just good at the game, and when the killer downs people, the game naturally slows down. That's why I keep saying downing players is the best slowdown in the entire game. So typically, if you're better at the game than someone else, you're going to have a scenario where your games on average go slower than other people's games. And so many people twist it into copium that they're just going against easier opponents. Like, no. It's a hard pill to swallow, but they're just better than you. They have 5 times your hours. They're able to kill people quicker. They have better map sense. They have better map pressure. They know how to make people not work on gens as much as humanly possible. So their games are just going to go slower overall. But all these arguments stem from a misunderstanding of what slowdown actually is. So I'm going to give you an example about how every single perk in the entire game is slowdown in some regards. Let's use a perk like Lethal Pursuer. Has nothing to do with generators. But let's look at what the actual tangible effect it has on the match. You start the game, you immediately see all 4 survivors, you know exactly where they are, what generators they're going to be near, you know what the next couple of minutes of the game pretty much are going to hold. It lets you start your chase significantly faster than if you're just sort of aimlessly wandering, which means you're going to get your first down much faster, which means they're going to be on a hook much faster, which means someone's going to have to come save them much faster, which means you can chase a third person as those 2 are doing that maneuver much faster. And now we're in that scenario where one guy's working on a gen because you got it down much quicker because of the aura reading that you wouldn't have had if you ran 4 slowdown generator perks. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. Every single perk in some way can meaningfully contribute to the game slowing down, even if it has nothing to do with generators. And that's why I say to the people that are running 4 generator regression perks or something like that, and then they complain that these perks are too weak or the game is going too fast, I have to suggest to you guys, maybe try something a bit different. Try running 2 generator perks and 2 information perks. Try running 2 generator perks, 1 chase perk like Enduring or Bamboozle or something, and then 1 information perk. I guarantee you will start winning more than if you just slapped on 4 slowdown perks. There's a couple of killers that have built-in information and stuff like that that can sort of get away with doing it, but most people running this don't even know why they're doing it. They just see, hey, this is a generator perk. I hear generator perk equals good. I put on generator perk. I still lose. What? People need to understand that the best slowdown is killing a player. It's downing a player. Even a perk like, a combo like Spirit Fury Enduring, for example, can offer more slowdown than every single generator perk in the entire game because you have to think outside the box. You have to think about the butterfly effect of what could happen. What if the guy you're chasing is on Death Hook and he gets to a pallet before you? If you didn't have Spirit Fury Enduring, you swing through it, you get stunned, he gets smash hit, runs away 30 seconds, you lose him, he heals, he works on a generator, he gets out. Because of that one just butterfly effect scenario of you not getting a hit at that pallet, now he's living and you're losing because of it. Or you did have Spirit Fury Enduring, he breaks the pallet on your face, dies immediately, and now you've got one person left with 2 gens, or you got one person dead with like 2 gens left or something like that. You can see how drastically the game can immediately shift due to one chase being won at the correct time. Or, in the terms of information perks, one chase starting sooner than, if, for example, something like Barbecue and Chili can let you see when you hook somebody that there is someone across the map working on a generator. You might not have known that person was there before, but now you do. So you get there, the gen's at 95%, you stop it from popping, you down that guy, you pain res him, and now you're actually using your perk. Whereas if you just had 4 slowdowns, you wouldn't have known to go there, which means you wouldn't get to use your pain res to save that generator. You see what I'm trying to say here? These slowdown perks synergize with you playing the game normally. You can't just slap on a bunch of band-aids, play like shit, and then complain that the game is too hard. That's just not how the flow of the game works. You have to kind of work in tandem with how these perks are procced, basically, by downing people and progressing the game that way. And also just the naturally downing people due to having more information and chase related perks is the best slowdown of all. So those are the things I wanted to go over here. People that are running a bunch of slowdown perks, there's a reason the developers keep nerfing them. It's because nobody on Survivor wants to do the same generator 5 times in a row. With like old Ruin Undying, with like old Cole O'Brien Eruption Overcharge, you had to do the same generator like 3 separate times. It was absurd how much that happened. And the developers understand that the best, most interactive form of slowdown is chasing and downing people. That is the most fun form of slowdown you can possibly put in the game. Now, some survivors might still hate it, and that's fine, but it's still more fun than just watching a bar go up and then go back down, then go up, then back down, then up. This is nothing. There's no gameplay here. The actual slowdown based from getting downs and chases is what matters. And I think that is why, at least recently, we've been getting a lot of pretty decently strong killers that don't have to rely on slapping a bunch of band-aid slowdowns on because they can simply down people fast enough, which means the game will naturally slow down. And ideally, the weakest killers in the game will be buffed for that to be a possibility for everybody. I understand there's a couple killers in the game that are so shit, doesn't matter how good you are at the game, your skill doesn't matter when you're playing Pig on a big map against good players. You know what I mean? But for the most part, most killers can exert some form of their skill over the match and use their skill to down people faster, resulting in more slowdown. And those people will benefit from having chase perks and information perks. And even if you're not good, they can still help you in that way too, because they'll make up for that information that you wouldn't kind of naturally have as a good player over time. So that's really the point I wanted to get at here. People running 4 slowdowns, try doing something a bit different. Try switching it to 2 generator perks and an information perk and a chase perk or something like that. Try that for like a week or 2. See how your results are compared to before. And I guarantee you will be surprised at how much more you're actually winning because you're now starting to have like this synergy between all these things. So I just wanted to talk about that because it is like a common complaint that they keep nerfing our regression perks. But they're not really stopping the slowdown in general. It's just this specific boring generator regression that is getting nerfed over time. By the way, still usable. Just because, pain res is 20% instead of 25% doesn't mean it's a dog shit perk. It's still very good. Still a lot of people run it. I'm just saying the developers understand that that's not the best way to balance the game. And although they still got a lot of work to do, it's good that they at least know that. I'm not saying we're in a state where everything's great now. All the killers can down people real fast. No one needs slowdown anymore. Obviously, we're not even close to that yet. But it shows that they understand that that's what it's supposed to be. And I'm hoping I can, I don't know, impart a little bit of this information to people that might be struggling with slowdown perks. Try some other stuff out. You might succeed way more. That's it. Thanks for watching.